So how's it going, guys? Falkeye here, and yeah, I've been getting so tired of all these political shows, man. And I just want to make my 2 cents on why these shows never work. They're never funny, and no one likes them. Uh, the first off, I just want to say that I am not a Republican or Democrat. Well, a really liberal conservative. I know a lot of people watching this are going to be American because like these are mostly American shows, and most of my audience is actually from America. But yeah, I'm a centrist. I don't you know I don't really slide either one direction. Like I really try to think of like what what the person is going to do rather than what the party typically tends to do. Um, you know what I mean? So yeah, I just want to get that out of the way before someone's like,
Oh, you're just one of them racist Republican voters or those uh transgender Democrat.
I don't fucking know what they fucking call themselves. I'd also like to mention this isn't really riffing on any shows in particular. This is just patterns I noticed from the political cartoons that I have watched, and I use examples from some of them. But like, this is just a generalization. Like, this isn't a critique of one particular show made by one particular group of people. This is just shit I've noticed that's consistent in all of them. So this also means if you haven't seen any of these shows that are supposed to be, crapping on liberals or conservatives, you use this video, use the points I make as like a checklist, and then see if they apply to the show. Because I'm willing to bet they will. So first point why these shows don't work is nobody gives a shit. Like most people who do vote, like don't dedicate their whole life to politics, and like yeah, they probably have an opinion on every single political figure, or at least every major political figure. Like not like the minor ones, like I don't even know, but like yeah, like everyone who's like in charge of like one of the major parties, like they probably have an opinion on, but other than that, like they don't give a shit. And mind you, again, that's kind of the people who do vote. Like, I'm sure every single person who is an adult knows at least like two or three people that do not vote. Like, they just do not give a shit about politics at all. They just don't fucking vote. Um, so there's another group of people that's being alienated. In fact, I'm pretty sure in the United States, like less than half the population votes. So like when they say half the country's Republican, half the country's Democrat, that's really just half that fucking votes. like, like never have just couldn't give a shit. Um, yeah, but for whatever reason, a lot of people in every democracy do not vote. Maybe they just don't care. Maybe they're just not old enough to vote. Um, or maybe they just can't get to the where they vote. But like, for whatever reason, there's a good amount of people that don't even vote at all. And on a side note, this is why people who hate people who have to insert their political beliefs into everything, including shit that just doesn't have them. Like these people are so fucking miserable that they need to like every single time they watch like a movie, they got to be like, oh okay, this guy must have my political beliefs because they need fucking validation. They need other people to think the exact same way they do. They can't accept, you know what, this is how I think, and I don't give a fuck how other people think, or there is at least one other person who think like they need validation. You'd be like, nope, this is the 100% correct way of thinking, and it's like, bro, how are you not fucking miserable? Like it's like they hate it. For example, like Follow It doesn't have a political message, or at least like not one that's like Republican or Democratic. You know what I mean? It's just like it just doesn't. I don't know if it does have a political message actually, but it's definitely not one that's like overly left wing or overly right wing if it does have one. Like it's really just supposed to be an apocalypse, right? And the thing is, like with New Vegas, there's three fucking factions in New Vegas. Like they have very different ideologies, and none of them are good. Like some of them are better than others, probably, but like none of them are good. The Doom guy, I've seen people say this. I fucking promise you, I'm not making this up. It's not some fucking Donald Trump supporting Christian who hates gay people. You know, he hates atheists and gay people. He's just some fucking guy who enjoys killing demons, right? Like, killing demons it makes for pretty fun gameplay. You know what I mean? Or, on a side note, he'll probably be the other way around if I'm being honest. Like the dude, low key, low key doesn't care about all that. But but you know what? It doesn't even fucking matter, dude, because it's irrelevant to the Doom games. Who the Doom guy would fucking vote for in an election? Like who gives a shit? All right, like I'm fighting demons. I don't need like freaking. I don't need to watch the presidential debate in Doom, bro. You know what I mean? Because you're not voting for someone in fucking Doom. And this is one I saw on Twitter, but like it really does tell on the people who have these who like shove them into the shit. Like, and that's idiocracy, bro. Someone thought idiocracy was shitting on Republicans, and that's just telling on yourself because really the only way you could assume it is making fun of of Republicans is if you're like so biased and like so unempathetic in your belief system that you instantly assume every single character that's portrayed as dumb is someone who has opposite beliefs as you, and vice versa. Realistically, that's the only way you can even interpret it that way. What Idiocracy is making fun of is these morons who like immediately graduate high school and they have kids. Like they think, oh, I'm an adult now, I gotta have kids. Like they don't even wait. They're like, oh, I'm an adult, so that means I have to have kids. And then these people, I'm gonna be a little off tangent, but these people they act like they're better than you because you have kids. They act like they're better and smarter than you because they have kids. Like no, if anything, the other way, it's the other way around, douchebag. Like you have kids and you're not even in your fucking 20s yet, bro. Like, all right, yeah, you're way smarter than me, buddy. Like fuck. The second point why these don't work is they have a lack of empathy for the other people's belief system. Like for like anyone who is the opposing political beliefs of the main character will not be a likable character no matter pretty much without exception. And that's because they weren't made to be likable people. They're just made to shit on real world people, real people that exist, but like not in a likable way. They're just supposed to be like, hey, like these people suck. If you're one of these people, I fucking hate you. You know, they weren't supposed to be actually likable characters.
Beef, I don't want you being a total fucking idiot asshole just because I said so. You should only do it if you want to.
And but it's probably also because they can't really understand how these people act in real life because they're so divorced from how these people act in real life for basically any beliefs that aren't their own. That they just they just make a character and they think, oh yeah, this is like, and honestly, it's stupid because like if you compare characters to like on Fairview or Mr. Bertram or one of those shows with American Dad characters, like Seth MacFarlane is an open liberal, right? Like he's has very liberal beliefs, um, but you don't have to be a liberal to like American Dad, right? Stan Smith is a conservative. You don't have to be conservative like Stan Smith, and again, he's a likable character, even though Seth MacFarlane is a liberal. Haley is a liberal. You don't have to be a liberal to like her. Like she has funny moments, even if you know. Uh, Now of course sometimes none of the characters are likable, so it's just a symptom of the shows being written by people who are untalented. But really, if any of the characters are likable, it's always going to be people that are the belief system of whoever wrote the show, right? Like always, like 100% of the time. Um, And you may be like, oh, well, these characters are supposed to be the villain, or this stuff we're not supposed to like. These guys should be unlikable. And I'm like, you can make a character that does stuff like that likable. And it's plenty of examples in shows that aren't political where that's true. Like, I mean, take Total Drama for instance. Like, almost all of the villains are like super likable, if not like some of the best characters in the show. You know what I mean? Again, take South Park for example. South Park talks about politics all the time. Like Cartman, you're clearly not supposed to agree with him, or if you do, you're not supposed to go to the lengths that he goes to preserve said beliefs. You know what I mean? He's still a likable character if the episode's good. Like I'm not talking about modern South Park, like Integrity Farm shit. I'm just talking about like prime South Park. He's a likable character. One of the better ones on the show, even. Like a third point, which is kind of related to the second point, is these shows are out of touch. Like from what issues actually affect the people that you know are supposed to be portrayed in the show. Now I know what you're thinking. You're probably like, okay, they can't be portraying it this. They can't be that out of touch. Like maybe they don't portray everything like 100% how it is in real life, but they maybe not that out of touch. Okay, there's a scene in Mr. Bertram where Bertram's daughter like is like awesome job Bertram. Like that's his daughter. Like I'm gonna play the clip, but like
Epic rant, Bertram.
that's something that's like so fucking. There's something so fucking inhuman about this dude. Like, who the fuck refers to their own father by their last name? Who refers to their son by their last name even? Like, so really, that's how out of touch some of these guys are, regarding how like actual people in real life act. Um, And really, so really, whatever they talk about either isn't a real issue, or if it is a real issue, it's portrayed so fucking inaccurately to how it is in real life. It might as well not be a real issue. Like, it doesn't portray how people actually think about it or what this actually causes. You know what I mean? The reason really is like these shows are written by like 60-year-old millionaires, that are so powerful. Like they could literally, like, they're old enough and rich enough that like America could, like, next president, whoever it is, could start World War Three, lose World War Three, have America be conquered by fucking Chinese, and these guys probably still wouldn't be affected. Like, the guys are just that rich and powerful, and they're just that far above everyone that they don't need to care about politics at all. Like, it's honestly surprising that they care at all, really. Like these dudes are set no matter who's in office, really. And they're trying to write stories about people who aren't that. You know what I mean? Like, they're writing stories about like areas of the world that they're either so far, like, they either like have never been to, or like never met anyone who really lives there. Never spent an extended amount of time in, even, or they're so far divorced from that they basically have never been there because it's changed so much, or they know so little about how it is now that they just can't really portray it accurately anymore. And the fourth point is, like, the shows are always written by Americans. It's always about American issues, man. And like, it's kind of crazy because, I mean, I don't know. I'm Canadian. I would argue Trudeau's earned a few of these shows, but hey, that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. So it alienates everyone else in the world, right? Basically, like if you're European, why would you give a shit who's president, right? Like, you're European, like, like, oh, he's not president of wherever you at. Every single person who could be watching the show that isn't from America is already alienated, and in and of itself, you're probably alienating like 75% of America. Like, you gotta keep in mind the people who don't vote, and you gotta keep in mind the people who don't have the belief systems who do vote. So yeah, that's most of the country. You're alienating there. And on a side note, why is it always Donald Trump, man? Like, almost always these shows are shitting on Donald Trump. Like, remember when Trump was president? Like, no one would shut the fuck up about how, oh God, we hate Donald Trump. We hate Donald Trump. We hate Donald Trump.
Time magazine got a scoop. Literally a scoop.
One scoop for me, please.
On the president's scoops, we already knew he hankers for taco bowls and Big Macs and KFC, eaten with a knife and a fork. Now, in the Blue Room of the White House, the president sits down for a candlelit dinner with 3 correspondents from Time magazine. At the dessert course, he gets 2 scoops of vanilla ice cream with his chocolate cream pie, instead of the single scoop for everyone else. But Joe doesn't have an ice cream parlor named after him in Trump Tower, as the president does. And check out Impeach Mint. It's not a real Ben & Jerry's flavor, just a spoof. Maybe he should invite this Italian champion to the White House. He holds the Guinness record for most scoops balanced on a cone, 121.
And then, like it was to the point where, like, I wanted him to win in 2016. Like, I wanted him to win just so these people would shut the fuck up, because, like, they weren't giving him a chance even. Like, it was like, oh yeah, fuck Donald Trump. They weren't even saying shit about Hillary Clinton. They're just like, yeah, Trump's our president. Trump lost. Trump's our president. It's like, shut the fuck up. Give this guy a chance, bro. Like, that's why it was satisfying to see him win. Again, I'm not, like, super big fan of Donald Trump. I should have probably said that earlier, but, it was satisfying to see him win, because, like, no one wanted him to win. And, like, Biden, like, he hasn't even gotten so much as a Family Guy cutaway, bro. Like, he failed in the dementia test. Like, I think he could get a Family Guy cutaway gag. But anyways, that's whatever, man. Anyways, so these are why political cartoons always fail, in my opinion. If you watch any of these shows, like, with these checklists in mind, you'll notice that pretty much all of them fall under these categories. So yeah. That being said, I'm out.